So, in addition to the voices from the Building a Coaching Culture for Change research, also wanted to get some voices in the room from these people who went through this training, this coaching and training program. So the first couple of quotes are from the leaders who participated themselves. And I think it's interesting to think back to some of the themes we heard in this morning's keynotes as we review these quotes, right, about the impact it had. So the first one, CQ, again, read Building Change Leadership Capabilities, right? Help me be more sensitive to the degree of concerns these changes have caused even for employees that are not directly affected. Help me be more sensitive. What do we know from EQ or emotional intelligence, right? A key with EQ is empathy. Building empathy, which helps, again, build relationships with others. I think it's the same thing with CQ or change intelligence or leading change smartly, right, and collaboratively. The more sensitive we are to the fact that, as our keynote said, we often stop at the head and we neglect the heart, right? Change is an emotional journey, right, and building our coaching skills, coaching sensitivities, helps us monitor the emotional temperature of our employees and our teams going through change, right? So I thought that was a great quote. And the other one, I found during my one-on-ones, listening, letting employees speak freely is important. This was a learning that this leader had through the coaching process. I then use that information to engage them in productive workflows. So one thing I often say is that behind every complaint is a request. Behind every complaint is a request. And coaching, one of the beautiful things it helps us do is it helps us learn to reframe resistance from our enemy to our ally. Reframe resistance from enemy to our ally. Be able to use what looks like resistance out there as a powerful source of information that we as leaders can use to change the only thing we can, which is ourselves, right? Which is ourselves, how we are engaging for change. Actually listening, asking those powerful questions, letting people speak freely. It helps you surface resistance. It helps you honor it. It helps you explore it. Instead of looking at resistance as something that's bad and wrong, and the focus is doing something to others, right? What did we learn this morning? Conversation, with and for others. That's what coaching helps us do. So, second set of quotes. These are also from leaders who went through the coaching program. And now, though, we're getting even more granular in terms of specifically how has coaching impacted the work that they're doing on their team. So this first quote, a little long. Team members are coordinating the scheduling of diagnostic testing. That's what this gentleman does in his area. My team members are coordinating the scheduling of diagnostic testing with other ancillary services to ensure there's a smooth transition for the patient having multiple procedures on a single day. Okay, so again, multiple procedures in a single day. So this change challenge that this person was spearheading, right, was again improving the patient experience in their team, that was their team's project, and doing it in a way that needed to coordinate cross-functionally across multiple different groups. CQ, Building Change Leadership Capability, has improved productivity and patient satisfaction, right? So again, it helped grease the skids to make the change project successful. And what did it also do? Even more importantly, it built cross-functional relationships across the system, right? Empowered people within the teams, built cross-functional relationships, and ultimately served the patients and their families more effectively. The next quote. The tools learned through coaching, or learned maybe initially in the classroom, but then augmented, supplemented, deepened, reinforced through the coaching in the field, has enabled more insight into why providers, right, the physicians groups, push back with some of these changes, and what additional tools may be needed to create provider engagement and support for these changes. So again, as historically, maybe this leader would have vilified the providers. Why aren't you getting on board, right? Tried harder, right, to convince them or do whatever they were going to do with the limited tools they had in their tool bag. Coaching provided them more options, more tools to more productively engage for change. So the final set of quotes here are from the organizational development and learning leader who probably did the bulk of the work, or had the largest part in designing and delivering the training with her team to the over 1,500 leaders so far, and also played the largest role in coordinating between the trainers, right, in the classroom, and then the coaches in the field, right, to make sure that there was consistent alignment and coordination. So here's what she says. Leaders and teams now speak the same language and navigate the change in a way they hadn't before. Leaders lead more confidently, engage members more, and have a higher buy-in, right? Again, this is the holy grail of change management, right? We love all our leaders to be able to do this, play these different roles. We lead change faster and more collaboratively. Building change leadership capability supports both the specific change and the overall work environments. This again, so often we think that spending the time to spend 1,500 leaders or all our people leaders in a half-day training session, giving them on-demand access to individual and team coaching, right? What do we think? This is going to take time. This is going to take resources. What you're hearing here is, yes, it takes time, it takes resources, and it helps you accelerate. It helps you move faster when all is said and done. Coaching is not just an expense, it's an investment. Building change leadership capabilities, not an expense. It is an expense. However, we can look at it as an investment that has bottom line payback. And when I know that some of you are here to say, hey, how can I sell this, right? How can I convince my leadership of this? Bottom line impact by making this investment. And the other beautiful thing about this is that, again, a lot of times we can focus on our specific project, our specific change challenge that we have today. In healthcare, in many of our industries, we don't have the luxury to do that. We have so many changes going on at once. People are doing their J job plus dealing with mergers, acquisitions, electronic data records, new technologies, changing all kinds of aspects, right? We need to look past just the training and communications we're doing on our individual projects, and we need to learn how to build an enabling foundation to lead this change today and all the changes that we know are going to come. And coaching, building a coaching culture for change management, absolutely helps us do that. Cool quotes? Yeah? That's what I call making it real.